Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive breakdown of one of the most shocking moments in daytime television history, the infamous incident where comedy legend Jim Carrey was dramatically kicked off the Kelly Clarkson show following a heated argument that left audiences stunned and social media ablaze. Picture this, it's a bright, sunny afternoon in a bustling Los Angeles studio, the kind where the air hums with anticipation for lighthearted banter, celebrity gossip, and perhaps a surprise musical performance from the host herself, Kelly Clarkson, the powerhouse vocalist turned talk show maven whose infectious energy has won over millions since launching her show in 2019. Today's episode was billed as a fun-filled extravaganza featuring the cast of the blockbuster Sonic the Hedgehog sequel, with Jim Carrey reprising his manic role as the villainous Drive Robotnik, alongside co-stars James Marsden and Ben Schwartz, plus wildlife adventurer Coyote Peterson bringing live animals for some interactive fun. The stage is set with vibrant blue lighting evoking the Speedy Hedgehog's world, roller skaters zipping around to Kelly's cover of Olivia Newton-John's Hopelessly Devoted to You, and the audience buzzing with laughter as Kelly shares her signature Love Bomb segment, showering fans with unexpected gifts and heartfelt shoutouts. But beneath this glossy veneer of entertainment, tension simmered like a pot about to boil over, rooted in Carrey's well-documented personal struggles and his unfiltered worldview that has often clashed with the polished, feel-good ethos of network TV. As the cameras roll and the applause fades, Kelly, dressed in a sparkling emerald gown that catches the light like a disco ball, strides out with her trademark megawatt smile, greeting the crowd with a wave and a quip about how she's still recovering from last week's dance-off disaster. She introduces the guests with effervescent charm, praising Carrey's timeless comedic genius, and teasing the upcoming animal encounters, but savvy viewers at home could sense an undercurrent, a subtle stiffness in Carrey's posture as he takes his seat on the plush velvet couch, his eyes darting with that signature intensity that has defined roles from Ace Ventura to The Mask. Little did anyone know, this seemingly innocuous taping would unravel into chaos, exposing the fragile line between celebrity camaraderie and raw, unscripted confrontation. As the segment kicks off, Kelly dives into promoting Sonic the Hedgehog 2, asking Marsden about voicing the heroic Tom Wachowski and Schwartz about bringing Sonic's quips to life, eliciting chuckles from the live audience and easy rapport all around. Carrey, however, remains somewhat reserved, his response is laced with wry humor but lacking the explosive flair fans expect. When Kelly turns to him, probing about Robotnik's unhinged villainy, mirroring his own wild on-set antics, he chuckles politely but deflects, steering the conversation toward broader themes of Hollywood's soul-crushing machine. "You know, Kelly," he begins, his voice dropping to that gravelly timbre, "this business, it's like a giant hamster wheel, spinning us faster and faster until we forget why we're running." The audience laughs, mistaking it for a joke, but Kelly's brow furrows ever so slightly, her Midwestern politeness clashing with the pivot. Undeterred, she presses on, sharing an anecdote about her own career highs and lows post-American Idol, emphasizing resilience and gratitude, themes that have become her show's North Star. Yet Carrey, fresh off a reflective documentary on his life and a string of introspective interviews where he's openly discussed burnout and existential dread, isn't in the mood for platitudes. As Coyote Peterson enters with a menagerie of critters, a hedgehog that delightfully nods to Sonic, a colorful iguana, and a feisty parrot, the energy lifts momentarily. Carrey, ever the improviser, slips into Ace Ventura mode, cooing at the animals with over-the-top flair, drawing roars of approval. But when Kelly suggests a group photo op with the wildlife, something snaps in the air, a prelude to the storm about to break. Whispers from the crew later revealed that Carrey had arrived on set already irked by a last-minute script change that cut a segment on mental health advocacy, a cause close to his heart after his public battles with depression. As the laughter dies down from his animal impressions, Kelly, aiming to keep the momentum, asks, "Jim, what's the craziest thing you've done for a role? Like, did you really lick that iguana back in the day?" It's a light toss, referencing a viral clip from years past, but Carrey's face hardens. "Craziest? Kelly, the real crazy is pretending everything's peachy when the world's on fire," he retorts, his tone sharpening like a knife edge. The audience hushes, sensing the shift, as Kelly blinks in surprise, her smile faltering for the first time. What follows is not the scripted fun but a raw, unfiltered clash that would redefine viral infamy. The argument ignites like dry tinder under a match as Jim Carrey, no stranger to controversy from his outspoken rants on everything from politics to pharmaceutical giants, leans forward on the couch, his lanky frame tensing as he elaborates on his cryptic remark, his eyes locking onto Kelly's with an intensity that silences the studio. "Look around us," he gestures broadly, encompassing the glittering set, the cheering crowd, the array of exotic animals now frozen in their handlers' grips, we're all performers in this grand illusion, distracting ourselves from the real villains, not some cartoon Eggman, but the systems that grind us down, from vaccine mandates that blind us to corporate greed to the endless cycle of fame that leaves us hollow inside. Kelly, caught off guard but ever the quick-witted host, attempts to steer back with humor, chuckling nervously as she interjects, "Whoa, Jim, saving the world one interview at a time. Tell that to my coffee addiction, that's my real villain." The audience titters politely, but Carrey isn't amused. His face contorts into that familiar elastic grimace, a blend of hurt and defiance, as he presses on, his voice rising in pitch and volume. "No, Kelly, I'm serious, this isn't about coffee, it's about awakening before it's too late. I've seen friends lost to the machine, talents like Robin Williams silenced by the weight of it all, and here we are, pimping sequels while the planet chokes." The mention of Williams, Carrey's late contemporary whose suicide in 2014 rocked Hollywood, hangs heavy, a personal dagger that Kelly, who has her own history of vulnerability on air about divorce and self-doubt, feels acutely. Her expression shifts from playful to pained, the color draining from her cheeks as she sets down her microphone, the studio lights suddenly feeling too harsh, too exposing. Crew members exchange uneasy glances off camera, the director signaling subtly for a commercial break, but momentum has a mind of its own. James Marsden, sensing the volatility, tries to diffuse with a quip about Sonic's speed saving the day, and Ben Schwartz chimes in with a goofy impression, but Carrey waves them off, his focus laser sharp on Kelly now. "You of all people should get it. You rose from reality TV wars, fought for your voice, but now you're complicit in this sanitized circus, afraid to rock the boat because NBC's watching." Kelly's eyes widen, her southern drawl thickening with emotion as she fires back, "Complicit? Jim, this show is about lifting people up, not tearing them down. I've shared my scars, my divorces, my weight battles, all to connect, not to preach doom and gloom on a Tuesday." The exchange escalates, words flying like sparks, Carrey accusing the industry of suppressing truth-tellers, Kelly defending her platform as a beacon of joy amid chaos, the audience split between gasps and awkward applause. Coyote Peterson, wisely, ushers the animals backstage, the parrot squawking, "Help! Help!" in eerie timing, amplifying the tension. Backstage whispers turn to murmurs, producers scrambling via earpieces, publicists texting furiously, as the live feed captures every unflinching moment. Carrey, drawing from his anti-vax past and recent tirades against woke censorship, delves deeper, citing Larry King interviews where he railed against Big Pharma, claiming, "They labeled me a conspiracy nut for questioning shots that tripled since the 90s, no plague justified that, just profit." Kelly, a mother of two who has championed health awareness, bristles visibly, countering, "Questioning is one thing, scaring parents is another. I've vaccinated my kids because science saves lives, not some boardroom boogeyman." The personal stakes skyrocket. Carrey, whose ex-Jenny McCarthy's autism advocacy fueled his skepticism, jabs at Kelly's blind faith, while she retorts about his paranoid rants, alienating fans. The studio erupts in a cacophony, audience members shouting support, one yelling, "Tell him, Jim," while another calls out, "Kelly's right, chill out," as security hovers at the edges, ready for intervention. In this pressure cooker, old wounds reopen. Carrey's 2017 public feud with Sally Field over environmental issues, Kelly's own 2023 divorce headlines painting her as resilient yet raw. The argument peaks when Carrey stands abruptly, knocking over a prop microphone stand, declaring, "This isn't dialogue, it's damage control, I'm out before they edit me into the villain." Kelly, tears welling but voice steady, pleads, "Jim, sit, talk like adults, not headlines," but he's already striding toward the exit, his co-stars frozen in shock. The director yells, "Cut!" But it's too late. The deed is done, the feed lingering on Kelly's stunned face as applause turns to stunned silence. Viral clips would later dissect every micro-expression, from Carrey's twitching eyebrow to Kelly's clenched fist, fueling debates on celebrity accountability and talk show boundaries. As the dust settles in the immediate aftermath, the studio transforms from a lively arena into a war zone of whispered consultations and frantic damage control, with Kelly Clarkson left center stage, her composure cracking just enough to reveal the human beneath the host persona, as she addresses the bewildered audience with a shaky laugh, "Well, folks, that's why we can't have nice things, or iguanas," apparently, attempting to reclaim the narrative while producers huddle in the control booth, debating whether to salvage the footage or scrap it entirely for a reshoot. Jim Carrey, meanwhile, storms through the backstage corridors, his trademark grin replaced by a scowl of righteous fury, brushing past wide-eyed interns and sympathetic grips who murmur encouragements like, "You said what we all think," as he reaches his trailer, slamming the door with a force that rattles the costumes hanging nearby. Inside, he paces like a caged panther, phone in hand, already dialing his manager to vent. They wanted the clown, not the conscience. Kelly's show is just another cog, polishing turds for the masses. Back on set, Kelly slumps into her chair, fanning herself with a cue card, confiding to a producer off mic, "I thought we were bonding over Sonic, not soul-searching. Guys got layers, but damn, that hurt." The co-stars, Marsden and Schwartz, linger awkwardly, offering hugs and platitudes. "He's intense, but brilliant," Marsden says, while Coyote Peterson, ever the trooper, re-enters with the animals to fill the void, the hedgehog's quills a ironic mascot for the prickly exchange. News breaks almost instantaneously. A crew member's sneaky tweet, "Carrey vs. Clarkson, epic clash on KCS." Hashtag Robotnik rant, sparks a wildfire across Twitter, now X, with hashtags like hashtag Jim kicked off and hashtag Kelly stands up trending within minutes, fans divided into camps, Carrey loyalists hailing him as a truth bomb dropper, Clarkson devotees decrying his unprofessional meltdown. Clips, bootlegged by audience members, flood TikTok and Instagram reels, dissected frame by frame, Carrey's wild gestures mimicking his Grinch sneer, Kelly's eye roll that becomes a GIF goldmine, while TMZ pounces with breathless headlines. Jim Carrey erupts on Kelly Clarkson set, kicked out after vaccine tirade. By evening, the story dominates entertainment feeds, eclipsing even Oscar buzz, with late-night hosts like Jimmy Fallon preemptively scripting jokes about when hedgehogs attack, verbally. Carrey, holed up in his trailer, scrolls through the onslaught, a mix of vindication and regret washing over him. He fires off a cryptic X post, sometimes the mask slips, and the man screams. "Grateful for the stage, sorry if I shattered it." Hashtag Awaken, which garners 1 million likes overnight, his followers rallying with memes of his eternal sunshine character erasing the drama. Kelly, ever the fighter, ends the taping on a high note, leading an impromptu sing-along of "Stronger," that brings tears and cheers, but privately, she texts her ex Brandon Blackstock for support, lamenting, "Just wanted fun, got Freud instead." The network execs convene an emergency Zoom, weighing PR fallout. Carrey's draw is a draw versus the risk of alienating family viewers with his edgy bent. Leaks suggest they opt for a heavily edited air, but eagle-eyed fans spot the seams, fueling conspiracy threads about censored truths. Carrey's camp pushes back, his publicist leaking audio of Kelly's complicit line to balance the narrative, igniting round 2 of online skirmishes. Celebrities weigh in. Robin Williams' daughter Zelda tweets solidarity with Carrey on mental health, while Ellen DeGeneres, no stranger to show drama, posts a neutral, sending love to both, talk it out. Kelly, promoting her Vegas residency amid the storm, fields calls from Oprah, who advises, "Own the mess, it's your authenticity that shines." As night falls over LA, the incident morphs from tabloid fodder to cultural touchstone, prompting think pieces in Variety on the death of daytime decorum, and podcasts debating if Carrey's candor is courage or career suicide. In quieter moments, both stars reflect. Carrey sketches manic doodles of Robotnik debating Clarkson, channeling angst into art, while Kelly journals lyrics about fierce hearts clashing in the spotlight. The ripple effects extend to Sonic's promo tour, now laced with cautious interviews where Marsden dodges questions like, "How's Jim holding up?" with diplomatic finesse. Yet amid the frenzy, glimmers of growth emerge. Carrey agrees to a follow-up op-ed in The Hollywood Reporter, unpacking his outburst as a cry against entertainment's emotional embargo, while Kelly teases a future episode on Tough Talks with Tough Talents. The kicked-off moment, far from burying bridges, becomes a bizarre bridge builder, humanizing 2 icons in their frayed glory. Diving deeper into the undercurrents that fueled this televised tinderbox, one can't ignore Jim Carrey's labyrinthine path to this precipice, a career arc that skyrocketed from in living color sketches to rubber-faced blockbusters like Dumb and Dumber, grossing over $1.1 billion worldwide, yet shadowed by personal tempests that have seen him retreat from Hollywood's glare more than once, emerging only for passion projects like his Emmy-winning Andy Kaufman biopic Man on the Moon or the philosophical rumination of Sonic's Mad Doctor. Born in 1962 to a Canadian family of modest means, Carrey's youth was marked by homelessness after his father's accounting job vanished, forcing the teen to drop out and bus tables, a grit that forged his elastic ambition but also a deep-seated wariness of stability's illusions. His breakthrough came with Ace Ventura in 1994, a role that netted $350 million on a $15 million budget, cementing him as comedy's elastic king, but success bred isolation. By the 2000s, romances with Renee Zellweger and Jenny McCarthy crumbled amid his spiraling philosophies, influenced by Tibetan Buddhism and Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, leading to a 2017 retirement announcement after girlfriend Catriona White's tragic suicide, which plunged him into lawsuits and self-doubt. Carrey's activism amplified the isolation. His 2015 anti-vax stance alongside McCarthy, rooted in her son's autism diagnosis, drew ire from medical communities, branding him a dangerous voice despite his pleas for informed choice, a theme echoing in his 2017 protest art skewering Trump as a demented tangerine. These layers collided with the Kelly Clarkson show's ethos, a post-#MeToo beacon of empowerment where Kelly, the pop princess, who defied Clive Davis to win Idol in 2002, has built an empire on vulnerability without vitriol, her 2020 launch drawing 2.8 million viewers by blending music, motherhood tales, and guest therapy sessions. Kelly's own scars, a contentious 2020 divorce from Blackstock after 17 years and near $1.3 million monthly settlements, plus body positivity anthems amid tabloid scrutiny, mirror Carrey's in resilience, but diverge in delivery, hers uplifting, his unapologetically jagged. The argument, then, wasn't mere clash but cultural chasm, Carrey's existential howl against Kelly's optimistic hum, exacerbated by production pressures. Sources whisper of a rushed schedule post-COVID, with Carrey chafing at canned questions that glossed his memoir memories and misinformation's darker tones. As fallout proliferates, fan theories abound. Was it staged for ratings, a la Jerry Springer antics, or a genuine Freudian slip? Carrey's X feed, now a manifesto mural, posts sketches of Kelly as a singing siren luring ships to rocks, captioned, Harmony in Discord, while Kelly's Instagram stories share behind-the-scenes bloopers, captioned, Real Talks, Real Walks, onto the next adventure. The duo's orbits intersect again indirectly when Sonic 2 premieres to $72 million opening weekend, critics praising Carrey's ferocious Robotnik as therapy on screen, a nod to the drama's catharsis. Kelly, undaunted, books more bold guests like Will Smith post-slap, framing her show as the safe space for unsafe ideas, a subtle olive branch. Carrey, in a Joe Rogan podcast follow-up, unpacks the ejection as liberation, recounting how the iguana licked tail from his pet store ejection mirrored his show's fate. Tasting truth gets you tossed. Public sentiment sways. Polls on BuzzFeed show 55% siding with Carrey's bravery, 40% with Kelly's grace, the rest clamoring for a reunion special. Merch even emerges, t-shirts emblazoned, kicked off with Kelly, selling out on Etsy, turning infamy to income. Yet beneath the buzz, healing simmers. Carrey donates outburst proceeds to mental health orgs like his own JP Challenge, while Kelly launches a Clash to Cash charity auction of set props. The incident, dissected in academia from USC media classes to TEDx talks on celebrity descent, underscores entertainment's evolution. No longer vaudeville, but a mirror to society's fractures. As Carrey preps for a Batman reboot cameo and Kelly eyes a Christmas special, whispers of reconciliation swirl, perhaps a joint variety shoot, or better, an unscripted sequel where laughter mends the mask. In this saga's heart, two warriors emerge not diminished, but deepened, proving that even in ejection, impact endures.